Now, one of the many needs of a human being, and there's many, like 60 or more, 68, and I'd love to share more about this. I'll leave a video in the link below, which I love, by Tim Fletcher. But we all have very similar and many overlapping needs as a human and as a child. But some are a little bit more individual, like when we compare people. For example, some people might have the need for beauty. We have the need for beauty, and some people might be more inclined to get the beauty from nature, and that'll be me. And some people might be maybe more music and maybe art. I'd be less art, but I definitely like music. But some people definitely love music a lot more than me. I like music a lot, but nature would be my favorite. But I listen to music regularly, and I love uplifting, positive music with high vibes, like frequencies, vibrations, happy Mozart, and certain more conscious expressions, like things that I learned from my ayahuasca experiences. I was introduced to a lot of beautiful music there too. I'd go more for music with frequency and more than lyrics, typically, like music rather than lyrical music. But moving on, the main thing I want to say in this video is one thing that's like very, very important for me is what can be called spiritual intimacy, and that relates to values and ethics. Now, we all formulate specifically what our values and ethics are. But for me, my values and ethics are extremely important to me. For example, that's why I switched to a vegan diet overnight, because the minute I discovered animal cruelty, that didn't ring through my already established ethics and values I already had in me existent towards people and life and in general just loving animals as well, and nature. Like dumping or burning nature and sacrilege towards nature or Gaia, that wouldn't resound with my values or ethics. Similarly, being hurtful or cruel or taking advantage of a human or an animal or a child, or lying or being unintegral or manipulating or being dishonest, that wouldn't ring true to my values and ethics towards people or children or animals either. So that's why I switched to vegetarian and veganism overnight. And when I discovered veganism and animal cruelty 18 years ago. But it even dates back further than this with me. As maybe a 19, 20-year-old, I remember thinking and writing down on a piece of paper, like, what is love? Like, what does love consist of? Because we all use the word. What is it? Do you live it, or just say I love you and then hurt each other? So I was thinking as a teenager for myself, and I questioned the norm, and I questioned how people are behaving towards each other, and I questioned people in groups just like copying each other, wearing the same clothes, and like, why are we just copying each other? Like, I understood I was sort of fitting into my group, and others were fitting into their group dress-wise. And it's like, this is a bit copycatish. Why are we not just uniquely expressing ourselves as an individual? So as a teenager, I was writing down things like thoughtfulness and consideration. And in my early 20s, I discovered Buddhism, and I also loved their ethical values of compassion and peace and no harm to others. So that's why the minute I discovered vegetarianism, veganism, like all at the same time, I switched to a almost all vegan diet. But in the next 3 months, I discovered what happens in the dairy industry, and how that's deeply traumatic and sad breakup of all the family, mommy, daddy, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters. So I had to then give up. I chose to give up my 2 little organic dairy yogurts from the Sunday organic market. I used to buy 2 small ones every week, and that's all week I'd be vegan. All Saturday I'd be vegan, all Monday to Friday I was vegan, but on that little Sunday I'd have 2 yogurts. And after 3 months of doing that, I fully learned and I fully thought about it. I said, no, this doesn't sit right with me. This value of mine is very important to me. But back then I didn't know, like what I just learned recently, how the 60, does, and I've already experienced it. For some, it's far less important. For me, what's out of my sight is also equally important than what's in my home. So do you know the expression "out of sight, out of mind"? If cruelty is happening out there, like in child sweat camps, where they're overworked and abused and exploited, that's equally as bad as if my neighbour or in my home there's abuse going on. I don't just like forget about others who are suffering because it's simple or convenient for me. That's how strong I feel. I just want love, kindness, fairness and equality, and that's like equality and fairness of treatment and the right to life and the right to freedom of suffering. With the right to freedom and right to life, we don't belong to people others like a slave, and we don't, in the same way as our pets or children don't belong to us, they're their own beings. We're their custodians, their guardians. That's what we are. We have the most important sacred job in the world, the most noble and honourable job, to protect and nurture the vulnerable, sick or weak or defenceless who have no say, no power. They are vulnerable and innocent and defenseless. So with great power comes great responsibility. I exercise my responsibility and knowledge and wisdom and my power sacredly and honourably, and I will not inflict harm needlessly or necessarily towards the vulnerable, weak and defenseless. I know pets. I know what they're like, 100% clear as night as day, and everybody does, but they either don't or don't want to say, you know what, even animals who don't purr in my lap, who don't lick me all lovingly and make me feel good, even the ones that don't give back to me, they still matter. It's not just all about me, like what I gain or get. Same way with a cow, they might like live stock, which is not nice, it's slavery. And back in the day, talking about human slavery to slave owners was very inconvenient too. They didn't want to hear that. People don't want to hear about how they are having double standards and saying they love animals, yet paying someone else to murder or kill them, and paying someone else to abuse them, to treat them like an object, like a thing, rather than like a life form with feelings and wants and desires and family relations and friends and happiness and family and things they like to do. There's no way we would let somebody else come in and like pull the leg off or hurt or kill or abduct either our daughter for the human milk industry, or our pet, our dog or cat. So why do we do it to other animals out there when we don't need it and we're not in a survival situation? In Alaska, for example, where we haven't eaten for like 2 or 3 weeks and we're starving to death potentially, we're burning up our fat reserves. Humans live by a lot of double standards, and it's all like narcissistic. It's all about what us and what we gain, what we have to gain, and what others lose. That's where it's not fair, it's not equal, it's not integral. So even when I was selling my car recently, I was telling the person, he said, "You're not like an ordinary salesperson. You're not like an ordinary seller." And I was like, started bursting laughing. I said, "Yeah, I know. It's almost like I'm trying to talk you out of buying my car," because I was telling him everything that was wrong with it, especially the timing chain, and it cost like a lot of money, like up to 900 or more. And he said, "Don't worry, like let me decide if I want to buy it," because he was going to use it for racing and his family and friends. He wasn't even going to do it all up. I sold it for a cheap amount, 300 euros. So the point is, honesty and integrity is of paramount importance to me. But a lot of people out there, it isn't. So we're all at different consciousness, and we all have slightly different nuances of what we need, or how it portrays its importance level to us. For example, like I said earlier, art isn't the most important to me, but nature is, and music would be in the middle. But for others, it could be the other way around. But it also pertains to like spiritual intimacy, like with your partner. For some people, having friends or a partner business partner or even a romantic partner, their values and ethics and honesty levels and integrity could be not too important, but could be super important. For me, it's super important, you know. So in school, I lost all of my friends in second year of high school or secondary school in Ireland when I was 14, because I had compassion. Even as a 14-year-old, I had compassion on people who were being unkindly and unfairly treated by the rest of the class. They were what you could call a loner. They were being a loner or being bullied, like actual like mental, emotional like abuse to a degree. They were being isolated. They were being left alone to sit by themselves with no friends. And I thought that was like so horrible. This hurt me. Like it even feel like sad now, you know. Ask yourself the question, how would you like it if that was done to you or your loved ones or your pet or your animal or your brother or your sister, your mum, your dad, your child, your son or daughter? Like, then it doesn't ring through. So there you go. Equality is not established. If it doesn't ring true that it's okay to be done to you, then we shouldn't really do it if we're going to be ethical at all. We should not do that to others then. People and pets and animals have rights. That, I'd say, for me, my values, let them live in peace, love them, nurture them, be an apex nurturer, not an apex predator. Use your great power with great responsibility. Don't do what the politicians and those people in power are doing, which is just using us and exploiting and lying to us, hurting us. Don't live by their standards and expect them to be nice to you if you're not going to be nice and ethical in your life. But anyway, you have to find out what's right for you. It's not for me to tell you what's right for you. I'm just sort of trying to tell you what's right for me and how it's super important for me. Also, I'm trying to point out some little like things related to ethics about double standards. If you can mentally connect the dots, you will have more. You're much more likely to have not double standards and to be fair and integral. You're much more likely to make the line equal and balanced, where what you do to others, it's okay to do to you because you're treating others integrity, and you therefore it's okay for people to treat you with integrity because you don't mind. If the same treatment is integral, it's integral across the board. If it's not integral across the board, then it doesn't ring true to me. Like, I don't want people to lie to me, so is it okay that I lie to others? I don't want people to hurt my family member or pet or child or partner or parent, so therefore it's not okay that I do that to others. It's the same thing. It's equality, it's balance, it's justice. So justice is justice. It's not like, oh, it's just for me to do this to you, but it's not just for you to do that to me. That's not what ethics means. Ethics is across the board. It's like a universal concept. It's a rule of life, of ethical standards and morality and values, valuehood. So yeah, when you live by your standards and ethics and values, you have inner peace. You don't have like guilt. You don't have self-shame either, because you're living by your standards. So everybody has to find their standards. And as we mature and grow, I do believe we've definitely, our standards and morality and ethics and values do change for sure. So I'm not here to judge anyone. I don't want to wrong anyone. I think, like my friend says, in so many ways, in terms of spirituality and consciousness, we're not right or wrong. That's what Shakespeare said. Nothing is right or wrong, but only thinking makes it so. So we're given free will, so it's not like this is right or wrong by God, source universe, but we have to make it so with our thoughts, our opinions, our beliefs, our perceptions, our values, which stem mentally. Thinking makes it so. Our mind and our thinking will make something right or wrong for us, so that's how it works. So I don't want to like shame or guilt anybody or wrong anybody. That's not going to create change. But I will want to be an apex protector and love as much as I can what love truly is in all of its little breakdowns, characteristics, and facets. So you got to find out what's right for you, my friend. Not me. And sometimes people will be compatible as a business partner, a friend, or a romantic partner, and we have to make that decision for ourselves, and sometimes then they won't. So, you know, like there's some things are much more plain and obvious. Like, we won't want to be a business partner, a friend, or a romantic partner with somebody who is part of sex trafficking or slave industry for women and people, humans. And basically it's the same thing with animals. There's slavery, there's exploitation, there's rape in the dairy industry. Every year there's impregnation against will, without consent. Is without consent allowed in your ethical standards? For me, it's definitely not. I do my best to be as nice as possible in the most smallest ways, even with like pets. Try and don't be shoving them or mean or abrupt or harsh or yelling or poking or squeezing. I don't want to hurt anybody. I do my best. I'm definitely not perfect in terms of certain little reactions and emotional things that might happen in my life with people or even animals, but it's definitely on a very smaller level, like this much compared to this much as a child or a younger adult. I've fine-tuned and done inner work to heal myself and act as lovingly, kind and compassionate as possible. And I do make a mistake, because we all make mistakes. I'm not pretending to be perfect. I'm not saying you should be perfect either. We all make mistakes. We just do our best and then we get back up again. So if you make a mistake and fall back, and let's say you're trying to give up cigarettes or give up alcohol or give up cruelty or unkindness, or you're trying to give up non-consideration or unthoughtfulness, then like some people say, slipping back is a sign, at least you're trying. It's a positive sign you're trying. So we all slip back, we get up again, we do better. So some people, we may not like a fully vegetarian or fully vegan or fully something positive right now that we're trying, but we're doing our best and we're making progress, and we keep learning. We keep maybe studying or learning or listening or watching to people like this video, and we keep thinking for ourselves. We keep reflecting and maybe meditating on the subject or whatever way, thinking about it in quietness or just talking about it, and it'll become clearer. And then eventually we keep letting go of more behavior that causes sadness to others and stress to others, and we become wiser. Wisdom happens through experience and from having an open mind to learn and think for ourselves too. So then it become sweeter. Life becomes sweeter and more graceful, and there's more compassion, there's more mercy. Mercy is choosing not to hurt when we have the capacity to hurt. That's what the definition of mercy is. So it's a bit like with great power, or with power comes responsibility, or with great power and more power becomes more responsibility, great responsibility. So yeah, and that's what grace and mercy is. It's choosing not to hurt when we have the capacity to hurt. So it could be verbally, behaviorally with your partner. It could be with your pet, who's sort of innocent and naive, and they just have a certain mental capacity. Obviously, like children, like toddlers and babies and children, they have a similar mental, emotional capacity to, let's say, to an animal between age 1 and 7, depending on the animal, or even more. It depends what animal we're talking about. Crows are the only non-primates who use tools, and whales and dolphins, and elephants are very intelligent. It could be more than 7, for sure. Big time, I'm sure it is. But one thing I learned in my book on ethics that I read when I was 24, which brought me on to looking up a word on the internet, vivisection. What is that? And it led me to animal cruelty, and veganism. In the ethical book, and some of my own thoughts was, mental capacity doesn't determine right to life. Because what if there's invalids and mentally impaired human beings in wheelchairs, or severe autism or brain damage? Do they, because they can't have the mental capacity and intellect of a grown-up adult, let's say they have the mental capacity of a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old, does that mean that they can be killed? Because let's say they're equal to an animal. Do they now have the right, the mainstream right to life and right to freedom that so many people, in my opinion, who've been conditioned and programmed and brainwashed to think towards animals, because the corrupt dairy and pharmaceutical industry want to make us sick and make us think the way they think, and make us eat like corpses, and affects our consciousness and affects our mind and emotions for money, for trillions of dollars. That's what they're programming with all this silly stuff, nonsense in my mind, rubbish, lies, deceivery, unintegrity. So animals, so if a human then has the mental capacity of an animal or less than an animal, do they, they're a vegetable even, they can't think properly, do they then have they can be killed, they can be abducted, they can be impregnated against their will if it's a female? No, of course not. So you have to realize then, it's not right to life. isn't determined by mental cleverness or acuity. Like, smarter people don't have more right to life than less smart people. More educated people don't have more right to life than less educated people. What's going on with these? Is this not working? What's there? I think the lights are broken. So we have to think with these things, my friends, and apply it to all areas of our life. Otherwise, we're sleepwalking. We'll just stay at a particular level of consciousness. It's up to you. We have free will. I honor your free will. I may not agree with your free will, hurtful choices. Absolutely not. I may not want to be your best friend or your partner or your business partner or friend or some person out there. Not you. I'm not talking to you specifically. But we have free will. So if you want to grow and expand in your consciousness, that's up to you. It's not up to me to try and force you to grow and learn as part of our own unique journey of life as a soul and as a human. Because nitty-gritty daily activities and choices, that's all free will as a human. Big, massive, life-changing events, they happen to us. They're part of our destiny. That's the soul's free will that we are. Coming here as part of our life plan and our destiny and our purpose on earth for lessons. So losing your health drastically, or getting into a big life-changing accident, or near-death experience, or having parents that you choose as a soul. So many of these things are predestined, but the 99.99% of our daily little choices and preferences and our choices, they are free will choice of the human. So I hope this video has been of help. We'll be meeting my friend now in a few minutes, Jake. We go for a nature cliff walk. I loved this video. I really believe it'll be of lots of value to so many, and my intention is that it's thought-provoking, and I believe fully that it will be thought-provoking for you. Some people will agree so much and resonate and might change your mind about some things, and others may be half-hearted or somewhat, maybe for the future. I'm pretty sure most people listening to the end has made some sort of impact in your life, and something is going to change a little bit in your life at least. Because the topic of this video is so powerful, so important, so deep. And I'll talk to you another time about the other needs of a human being, which interests me a lot. And it's funny because you probably can't see it on yours, but I have a little bit of something on my screen, and it's right here on my head, it looks like a bindi. I think it's a little bit of mud splash from the beach yesterday with the kids. But yeah, my name is Owen Fox. Please do hit the like, share, and subscribe button and comment as you choose. It's your free will. I'd like it to do it though. Support the algorithm of my channel and share this message with other people. And please, when you hit the bell button on the subscribe, then you're going to get all my notifications in the future instead of just never seeing me again in your feed. I see my friend on the roof. He's up there. I'm arriving at Braehead car park in Ireland. So yeah, wishing you the very best, my friend. Lots of love. Thanks for watching. And yeah, I wish you all the very best in your life. And thanks for your time and attention. And look forward to hearing if you've liked this video. I'd love to hear back from you in the comments. And what are your thoughts on these topics and so many of these topics? I'd love to hear your thoughts. There's so many you could share. Lots of love. Namaste. Love and hugs. Thanks for watching, and I'm wishing you a beautiful day in life, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye bye. See you next time.